Hey everyone, and welcome to another GTA Online Tier 4 challenge guide for the career progress. Today I will be showing you how to complete the Gerald's Let's Play Tier 4 entirely solo, and we're going to go for all of them in one run. The 80% accuracy, the no snacks challenge, and 50% less damage challenge, which sounds difficult, but trust me, using the right strats, it's pretty simple. But before we get into that, I want to go over a little bug with the Gerald's Let's Play in particular. The mission progress is all mixed up in the career progress. If you complete a challenge for one mission, it actually doesn't count towards that one. It counts towards another one. And the ones they actually correspond to can be found in this chart from Gtamen. Link to his channel will be down in the description. So if you were scratching your head wondering why a challenge wasn't being completed for a mission that you were doing, this is most likely the reason why. But now let's get into the mission. Starting off with bad companies. The first part of this mission is a bit easier. The second part is a little bit harder. You have to go around town and take out 4 Salva henchmen. I found the easiest way to do this was to just land on a nearby roof and either grenade them or blast them with an RPG. For the first one, I landed on the roof next to the target and banked some nades off the ventilation ducts for an easy kill. The second guy, I landed on the roof across from the target and fed him an RPG rocket. For the third one, I landed on the roof above all the enemies, and the main target will be on the roof below you, so I just calculated a nice bank shot with the nade to make quick work of him without being touched. And for the last one, which I think is the easiest one of them all, you just go to where I am in the video and shoot some lock-on missiles at him until you kill the target. Now here's where the mission gets a little bit tricky though. The gang boss is located in this construction site, and you'll have to get close to him to get a picture of his dead body, so you can't just take him out from afar and run away. The easiest way to do it would probably be to grab a tank and clear out as many enemies as you can before hopping out. I did something similar with the Mark II Oppressor and tried to kill as many enemies as I could with the lock-on missiles before going in. You could also probably just land on the floor where the boss is and do it that way, but that does leave you open to get blindsided by enemies as you're getting off the bike. So I did it in a way that was a bit safer, but there's really multiple ways you can tackle it though. Just be careful, take cover, make sure you hit your shots, and that's all there is to it at the end of the day. And once you take a picture of that dead leader, you just have to leave the area and you're all done. The second mission, Deal With It, is as straightforward as it gets. Just get your Ghillie tank and go to town. Don't worry about blowing up any of the objectives either. I don't think it's possible for that to happen on this mission. Eventually though, you will have to get out and go to each objective, and there will be new enemies spawning in periodically as you do that, so just take cover and eliminate them with ease. And after collecting all objectives, just hop back in your tank and go to the next part, which will require you to blow up evidence, which is perfect because you're in a tank. So just simply fire away. And once all that's done, you just have to lose the cops, which I suggest heading on the train tracks or going into a tunnel to do because you're not outrunning them in a tank. For end product, you should try to get the deal location that is right next to the Union Depository. Reason being is it's much easier to defend with a tank. There's a lot more open area than the other location you can get, where you won't be able to maneuver as much as you'd like. And it's very important that you do not drive directly to the objective yet either. Drive close to it, park the mule, and then call in your tank to get that in position where you can access it a lot faster and easier. And once that's in place, then you can go to the objective. Right after that, you should get in your tank as fast as you can and take out all the enemies. Just be careful not to blow up the mule truck. Once the onslaught has ended, you can safely return to the mule and drive it to the next objective, and you will get chased by enemies by the way, but I managed to not get hit by them at all, so they're not very accurate. At the final location, there will be a group of enemies waiting for you. I went a bit overkill and called in my tank again to kill them. You most likely would be fine just shooting rockets from a distance at them before hopping in the mule to finish the mission though. Overall, that one is pretty easy, managed to do it hitless even. Fast pedaling did take me a few tries to find a strat that I was confident with. I tried a few different vehicles, but ultimately what I found to be the best was the Deluxo. And the reason for that is because the Deluxo can lock onto enemies without exposing yourself to them. So if you hover above them like what I'm doing here, you can just shoot down on them. And the Deluxo missiles don't really miss very often like the Buzzard or Mark II missiles do. And you can do this to take out the enemies at each location that are guarding the entrance. Inside each place, there's also going to be enemies. Inside the weed place, avoid firing any sort of explosive weaponry in here because what happens is it starts a massive fire and eventually you take damage from it, which of course isn't good for the challenge we're trying to complete. A couple enemies in here will rush you with melee weapons, which are pretty easy kills, and then there's just one guy in the back. The cargo warehouse interior is the most annoying one by far because the only cover you have is at the very front, and it makes it hard to really see the enemies and get a shot on them. In the gameplay, if you're going for the accuracy challenge, you don't want to be using the assault shotgun because you're going to waste a lot of shots and it's going to tank your accuracy. I had completed the accuracy challenge before this because, like I said, I did the mission a few times to try to get the right strats. So you could just use a hollow point revolver and that will most likely one-shot all the enemies in the body. And if you're not behind windows, you can also chuck stickies and use explosives. For the meth lab, if you want to, you can land on this roof across from it and shoot rockets down if you can't get a good shot on the enemies with the lock-on rockets. The interior for this building is pretty simple. Just take cover and toss stickies over the ledge, or if your sticky bomb doesn't go over the ledge like mine did, just shoot the guy normally. And that brings us to the last location. The enemies up front can easily be taken out with just a couple of missiles here. And the only enemy that's on the inside is a guy with a melee weapon. Very easy kill. But he can kind of surprise you if you're not expecting it. And with all the drugs collected, you just have to bring them to Gerald's apartment to finish the mission. Make ends meet, I feel, is one of the missions that a lot of people probably struggle on, but no need because the strat I'm about to show you will make it extremely easy. So bring your trusty Ghillie with you, and the slaughterhouse actually has two entrances. You want to go to the one farther down the road, clear out the front, and enter through the doors. I just think this entrance is easier with the enemy angles and cover available to you. It seems like there's a lot more cover here. So take cover right as you get inside, and there should be an enemy that rushes up to you. You can just take him out with the RPG with blind fire. Then move up to the next piece of cover and just keep doing that. Blind fire with RPGs, throw sticky bombs, make sure to RPG around the corners before you move up to make sure there's no enemies just hiding there. The cover on this route is a lot more procedural, I guess you could say. It's a lot more consistent than the other entrance. In the room with the safe, you want to make sure you triple check it before you start cracking the safe because sometimes the enemies will like to sneak up on you from the meat racks and take shots on you. So just send a few rockets down there and to make sure there's no enemies hiding. And once you collect the safe contents, the mission is basically over at this point, so congratulations. You just go out the same way you came in so you don't have to clear out more enemies, hop in your tank and drive over to the other exit where the gang boss should be trying to escape, but unfortunately for him, he ran right into a tank. So yeah, that's the end of his life. And that's going to wrap up this mission. Which brings us to our final mission of the day, the Go Figure mission. Surprise, surprise, we're using the tank again. When you get to the search area, that's when you want to call it in. Just be careful not to blow up the van you're looking for. Also, I'm pretty sure there's multiple search areas for this mission. I got the one that's in this underground parking garage. But the same principles apply no matter where we are, honestly. The most annoying part of this mission is trying to find the different figurines. They can kind of take a while if you don't know what you're looking for or don't know where they're at. And each location has enemies there as well, which kind of complicates things. So what I decided to do was park the van before I got to the search area, and then I grabbed my tank and cleared out the enemies first before looking for any of the collectibles. And there are also different locations for the search areas, so they might also not be the same ones you're seeing in this video, unfortunately. I had the movie studio and Mirror Park for my two locations, but the strategy, again, is the same either way. You go in with the tank, clear out a majority of the enemies, and then go searching for the collectibles. And to close out the mission, you just have to drive back to Gerald's apartment. And that is going to give you your Tier 4 challenge completion for the Gerald's Last Play missions. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.